Hey, what is going on? This is the Poke Haunter, and I have some of my graded cards that I got back from GameStop. So I'll let you know how that whole process went and why I don't have all of them. So I'll kind of explain what happened. Nothing bad, all positives, but I'll just kind of get through it. All right. So here are our PSA graded cards that we got back. Oh, this is one that I got from a TikTok live I wanted. It's like $10. But here are the ones I got back from GameStop. I'll put the screenshot right here of how everything looked. And let me go over really quick the process. When you first send them off, it'll go for preparing shipment, ready to ship, something like that. I can't go back to how it used to look. But when PSA gets them, it'll kind of break it down. And again, I'll put that right here. It'll break it down into what process they're in. Sometimes it'll get done in a day, because with these, it got done in one day all the way to grading. And on the other two that I graded from Terrestrial Festival, those, it took like a weekend. They got halfway through, then right before it got done to QA for quality assurance. I'm assuming that's what that means. It kind of stopped right there on a Friday, and not until Monday did the grade show up. And mentioning the grade show up, when you get them graded, you can actually see the grade online. So spoiler alert, I know what these are because I couldn't wait. You'll know the grade online. You can see a picture of your cards in the actual slab already before it gets shipped to you. So that's kind of cool. And that's all done through GameStop. If you have the Pro Pass, no shipping, and that was for the $15.99. So, having said all of that, let's see how this comes out. I mean, it's pretty much just normal PSA. You know, I'm not, if you're unfamiliar, it's the same way that you would get it graded through normal PSA. It's the same company, of course. So labels look the same. Everything's the same. There's no GameStop branding on it whatsoever. For the price, it's pretty worth it. I'll go over at the end of the video what my next plan is as far as getting more of these done. But let's check these out. So the first one we'll check out is we got this one from Surging Sparks. I don't know if it's Hydreigon. I think of Yu-Gi-Oh! Baby Dragon. That's the way I say that. Hydreigon. But pulled this myself from Surging Sparks, and we got a 9. We got a 9 on this. Really would have liked a 10, but I'm assuming it's the border on it. It looks a little bit heavier on this side than over here. So I'm going to assume that's what it is. Other than that, card is flawless. They don't send it to you in these little sleeves. These are something that I picked up separately at Target. It's these right here. Card guard sleeves. They're pretty cool. So I picked those up and put them in here, so this just wouldn't get scratched up or banged up or anything. You know, still got to be careful with, actual dents or anything. But yeah, I do baby these. So the plan with this one is pretty much to get it sold. I don't plan on holding on to this. I mean, it's a 9. I'll go over some 9s or lower grades I do plan to keep, but as far as this one, since it's kind of like a modern card, I really don't want to hold on to it. And I don't feel one way or the other about this Pokemon. I'm more of the original 151 kind of fan, but I mean, it's still a really cool art, and to see it in the slab, this is my first time getting stuff graded. So really happy, really happy with the service and everything. I'll do this one last. Next one we got graded is the OG 2001 Mew from the Southern Islands. Really nervous about this one getting graded, just because there's a lot of hollow on this card, and I didn't see any scratches, but on further inspection, especially on the back, there's a little bit of whitening. Where was it? Yeah, there you go. On the edge right there, see, my camera can focus. There's a little bit of like dots and whitening on it, especially right here. There's a little. It's really hard to see it. Where's the camera? It's kind of hard to see in that corner. There you go. You can kind of see that corner right there. There's a little like ding on it. But I mean, considering I had this since I was a kid in 2001, I was pretty, hopeful that, hey, let's get, above a 5. I don't know how they grade old cards. These two are my first old cards getting graded that I had since I was a kid. So this one got a 8. It got an 8. So could have been better. A 10 in this is insane. But an 8, it's right around $200. You know, some sell for 180 more or less. So might just hold on to this for a reason I'll explain later in the video. But if you saw my last video, you know that I have the entire set of this with the exception of Togepi in this set. So I'm thinking I might get them all graded as a set, even if they get, you know, 8s. If they get 8s and above, it'd be kind of cool just to have a whole set of graded cards from this era from 2001. Oh, and costs on this one, it's selling for right around like $100, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put the price right here. But I thought it was right around like $100. So I'll go over as far as what GameStop gives to you once we get through this last one. And this last one is my original one that I had from a kid. I actually bought this as a kid. I remember buying these packs at a flea market, believe it or not. Yeah, these are one of my, you know, prized collections from my childhood. I remember buying these with my dad. So being able to get these graded, super excited about it. And we'll reveal the grade right here. And this is the Sabrina's Gengar. Upon further research on it, I figured out that this is kind of like a band or like a card that was changed when they made it in English. You can see right here, there's actually a graveyard in the hollow in the picture. And they didn't want to put that in the English card from my understanding. So in the Japanese version, it's kind of like one of those, rare, you know, banned scary cards, you know, something that I guess the American audience, when they released it in the US, they didn't have that. So that's kind of cool. It's one of those kind of sought after cards where it's rare-ish. I have seen these in card shops a lot. But I just like ghost Pokemon, hence, you know, my name, Haunter. We got a little Haunter right there. But the grade on this one is a 9. Pretty happy about this. I was really, really concerned just because of the age. And I felt as if there was, you know, a ding here on the very bottom. Like it was a little smushed in. Looking at the back, looks, you know, there's no whitening really on it. I think maybe it could have been a 10, but I will go over it. That is on the actual plastic itself. That's not on the card. But something that upon having all my cards sent out, I did more research on how to prepare your cards. I noticed something on this one when I got it back. There is a little something right there in the corner. You can see it. Right next to the red outline, that red corner, is a little something right there. So I can't say for a fact that I went through and made sure my cards were like cleaned and went over them as good as I should have. I was just kind of excited to get them out there. So I took these 3 cards in and kind of just sent them off, put them in the card saver at GameStop. And I think that might have been a mistake, quite honestly, because I was rushed. I self-rushed myself without knowing too much, just thinking I'll just take them in and send them off. PSA doesn't clean your cards. They don't really, you know, wipe them down or anything. So you should kind of send them off in the best quality you can send them off in. You know, make sure there's no fingerprints. If there's a little piece of crud or, you know, dust or just something that's on there and you can wipe it off without damaging the card, I would recommend doing that. Because quite honestly, that little thing, I think it's something that really did affect the grade and really is something that maybe could be fixed. I don't know if that's actually on the card or it's just something that can be kind of like, you know, peeled off or something. There's a little bit of whitening right there. But for this being from 1999, from my childhood, and it being kind of like a rare or like, you know, banned or, you know, sought after card because it's art, you know, I think it's cool just to have it graded. And it's one of my originals. Don't plan on selling this necessarily, but yeah. So overall, pretty excited to have my first graded cards, and I was pretty happy about it. Now, I did get 2 other cards graded, and I will go over some things about the grading of those cards. They were these 2 cards right here, and I'll put the screenshot of which cards they were and them in their slabs. And as you can see, I got 10s on both of them. And they were from Terrestrial Festival. One was the Eevee, and then one was the Espeon. And they got 10s. And I kind of don't have any big emotional ties to them. And I just kind of want to see how the whole process would go. So what I ended up doing is when I went to go pick them up, as seen here in this picture, I ended up selling them back to GameStop. They sold on the open market. They sell from about like 250 to 200, right around there. On eBay, there's, you know, it's fluctuating every day. But there at GameStop, they offered me for both of them a total of I think it was $303, and it was seamless. Went to go pick them up, and they asked, they kind of scanned them, and they say, "Hey, we'll scan them to see if you want to sell them back to us." And just for the sake of seeing the process, it was painless. They scanned them. They offered me the price. I accepted the price on both of them. And they asked if I wanted to do a prepaid card or just cold hard cash. So I said, nope, just give it to me in cash. And there wasn't a penalty for cash or the prepaid card. So I was able to walk out of there with $303 like I robbed a GameStop. They had to go to 2 registers and give me some 5s and 10s and 20s because I just got it in cash. So that was kind of cool, you know, getting it back and having that option of, well, let me just get some cash, you know, for it, or, you know, a prepaid card. And they just were able to do it. There was no, you know, oh, this card will take 30 days to activate, 15 days, or it'll get put on, you know, a GameStop rewards, anything like that. I didn't do store credit. I did do the cash version. Store credit would have opted me more, but I just opted to do the cash version, just for the sake of, hey, if, you know, let's make some real money off of this. Now, having said that, I do have a plan for my next batch of cards, and I will go over it right now. But before that, they did offer me about 200 for this one. It sells for anywhere about 250 to 300. The highest I've seen is 300, so didn't want to sell that one at the time. They were offering me, I think, 150 or 160 for this one at the time, so didn't want to sell that. Again, I have a plan to get a whole set of my cards graded and sell it as a set if I wanted to sell it. This one was interesting. So this one being a modern card, it's selling, like I said, for around the $100 price range, $90, $80, right around there. When GameStop scanned this and they offered to buy it, they wanted to give me only $40 cash and I think $60 in store credit. So what that tells me is that your newer modern cards that can sell higher, if they're mid-range cards in the chase, so probably like 5 and below, they're not gonna give you the most out of it. At least that's what it looked like. Just being that, you know, they're gonna offer you a little bit less, and then if you get cash, a little bit less. And then considering this isn't like a really big sought-after card, so I think that does have some sort of effect. Of course, you know, when it's under $100, you know, there's not a lot of wiggle room. But I would say if something's selling near $100 and they offer you less than $60, I necessarily wouldn't take it, but that's just me. If it's a card, you know, you just want to get rid of and flip, you know, then I totally understand. But yeah, with this one, I'm going to try my luck of selling it either on OfferUp or Facebook, or I haven't got an eBay account set up, but when I do, I'll, you know, put a link and all that good stuff. But might do eBay. I know that eBay takes about 12%, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't looked into it that much. But yeah, so that was my grading card experience. I can't recommend GameStop enough. It was seamless. It was... also, the turnaround time, it was almost to the day 45 days. So that's kind of, and it's, and something else, it's 45 business days. So Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays did not count. I submitted these cards December 3rd, and I got them back January 13th, if I'm not mistaken. It was almost exactly 45 days. That might be a little over. I'm not going to count the days right now. Just kind of rushing this, not necessarily rushing this video out, but I just wanted to record something. But expect a month and a half. Expect a month and a half. So 1 calendar month. So whatever the date is, say you submit them on the 14th, wait until the 14th, and then about 2 weeks, that's when you get your cards back, most likely. They got shipped back from PSA faster than they got shipped out from GameStop. Having said that, about things getting shipped out from GameStop, as to my understanding, will not ship out your cards until they have 20 cards to be shipped out. So what that means is you can kind of manipulate it. If you have enough money to submit 20 cards, then your cards will get sent out quicker. just because you hit that little threshold that each store, to my understanding, needs to hit in order to send out cards. So they need 20 cards total to get sent out, to send them out, period. So if you take in one and not a lot of people go, your card's just going to sit there. That's kind of what happened to these. I took these 3 in, and I didn't know that I had to wait for more cards to be brought to that store. And having talked with some employees, I did find a GameStop where they said most people regularly bring in a couple cards, so they're sending out cards at least like once every 2 weeks or once a week even. So I'll probably be going to that store more often. I did try a difference between a GameStop at the mall and a GameStop at a brick and mortar, you know, kind of separately in a shopping mall. I feel that, I don't know if it's a placebo effect, where I talked to the employees that were a little bit more knowledgeable and were more willing to say that, hey, we send out cards more often because more people come to this one, which was a brick and mortar, as opposed to being in the mall. I'm going to go to that one again. So I wouldn't recommend the mall necessarily. I even started to have my mind race and think about, well, you know, how does a mall mail work? And I just kind of got a little freaked out. If somebody brings mail into GameStop, it's a brick and mortar, it's their own store. That's my understanding and thought process behind it. So, having said that, my mistake, especially with this one, with that little piece of crud on it, that maybe it's part of the card, maybe it's not, maybe it's something I could have changed, and this would have been a 10, would have gone from a $300 card to a $600 card or more. So my idea for this was the following. You can go into GameStop and you can get the Ultra Pro card savers. So what that means is when you submit cards to GameStop, give me 1 second. When you submit cards to GameStop, they do not want your cards. This is from the new McDonald's set. I'm trying to complete that. I don't think it's going to be worth a lot of money, but you know, why not? So they don't want your cards like this. Okay, when you submit cards, they don't want this. You know, and that's a normal card top loader. They do not want your cards like this. They're going to have you purchase and send them out in card savers. And card savers are these little things right here, if you don't know. Again, I'm all new to this, so I'm kind of explaining this and going through it. This is hopefully going to help somebody in my situation where I'm enthusiastic about it. There's a lot of videos about it, and getting shown it instead of just told it kind of helps. So they're going to have you do this, right? Put it in a penny sleeve, normal penny sleeve, and then insert it in here. Okay. And then this is how your card gets sent out. What I came across was that, and I'll pull this card out to show you guys. And this is kind of demonstrating exactly what I wanted to talk about. This penny sleeve, make sure you put your cards in this kind of penny sleeve. It's almost like paper thin, okay? You do not want to put your cards in any kind of thick penny sleeve, oversized penny sleeves for thick cards, anything like that. I made the mistake of buying these because they were a little bit bigger, and I just thought, oh, it's thick cards, it's a thick sleeve. No, that's not what it is. It's a dumb mistake. I have 2 packs of them, but I mean, buying them for $2, you know, what's the loss? Maybe I'll use it for other cards I don't really think about getting them graded. But having said that, the penny sleeves they want are these normal little ones, these little thin ones, and they're the ones that just say penny sleeve, you know, which is kind of like a duh, but I didn't necessarily, I don't know. I was just there, and my dumb brain goes, oh, for thick cards, these are better. But no, that's for the purpose of grading, you want these normal penny sleeves. Penny sleeves, these I picked up again at GameStop. They're Ultra Pro, the same as these card savers. Now, if you do not have these card savers, they will sell them to you for you to put your cards in. Now, at the store, there's a hair on this. What I was kind of nervous about is that you take your cards in, you say, hey, I want to get this, I want to get this card graded. They go, okay, cool. Go ahead and put it in that, and I'll start the paperwork. So they start their paperwork, and they're on their little tablet. So you're kind of nervously trying to fit this thing in because these aren't necessarily that easy to get them in, at least the ones that GameStop gives you. So a lot of times, or not a lot of times, but in my experiences, putting these in there in front of the register, it's kind of like, let me hurry up and put these in here. They can't rush or anything, but I just kind of felt rushed in a way. So having said that, what I recommend is I went into GameStop and I said, hey, these Ultra Pro card sleeves, can you sell them to me? And how much do you sell them for? I don't know the exact price, but they sold them. They sold me a bunch. I asked for 55 and I paid for 55 of these because I plan to get more cards graded. So what I did was I brought all these home and I bought these at the store. And what I did was I got all the cards that I planned to grade. I got them, put them in here, and I did already, I'll show you, put my cards in here. So that way when I go to GameStop, the card's already in there and I can go, here you go. I want to get this graded. And I'm not fumbling around at the register trying to hurry up and put this in. That way it's more relaxed. You have times to go over your card, look at it, see, no, maybe I don't want to get this graded, or oh, you know what? There's a little something weird on there. Let me take that off. Wipe it down. I recommend you using a light that's really bright, really close to it, so you can really examine your card. Because for example, this is an old card, and there was like dust stuck to like this side and dust stuck to this side. It wasn't necessarily like glued to the card. It's something that just needs to be wiped off. But it's something that if I would have just taken it and maybe I didn't catch that because I was just in the moment of it, could be overlooked and that could affect your grade. Again, something with this one, I think that little dot right there, I think that is something that could have been prevented or fixed if that is something that can be removed. Again, don't know unless I crack the slab. I've thought about it, but at least right now I'm going to leave it in there. So the trick with these is what I did was open up all the way, really, really open them up all the way. And the trick I did was not necessarily squeezing it all the way where it does this, kind of like it just goes a little bit, just ever so slightly, about right there, right? Okay, and then you get your card. And you might have to work it some more until it gets a little bit looser. And then just go ahead. What I found was don't push down right here because you don't want to dent your card. I kind of just grabbed it and I just gave it just the slightest bend to kind of match this bend going on right here, okay? And then you just kind of push it in. And you might have to work it a little bit, but there you go. Main thing is I just want to get it below this line right here. So the card is below that little lip that is attached to the sleeve. Penny sleeve is in it. Card is in there. If you can get it down further, great. But main thing is you don't want to mess up your card. And if you do it at home, you can pre-do these and have a whole stack of them. So, having said all of that, here is, and I'm not going to do these all at once, but, oh yeah, we have pre-done all the cards I want to get graded. Pre-done. Not doing these at the register. These are the card sleeves from GameStop in penny sleeves perfectly, and I've wiped down my cards. I made sure that, hey, these are the way that I want them to get presented to PSA as if I was going to hand them to the grader myself. These are perfect, as perfect as I can get them without, doing any massive cleaning or anything on them, any kind of restoration, just making sure there's no dust, there's no crud on it from years ago. They're wiped down, there's no fingerprints on them. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to grade. And I know some of you might be looking at some of these cards and saying, oh, well, that's not worth grading. And, why are you going to grade it if it's not worth the PSA 10? To tell you the truth, I think $15.99 to get, for me, old cards that I grew up with, to get them in these kind of, in lack of a better term, containers, not necessarily for resale, but to save the cards and like collect them. And I would love to put these on the wall for the ones I'm not going to save. Okay, these are treasured. I like these. These that, maybe could flip them, buy some more packs, maybe get a card I really want. Then yeah, getting them graded, as long as, the centering's kind of good and you can get more than, I would say, $30 on average. I mean, why not? Go ahead and do it if you have the extra income, I would say, and what I mean by extra income is because, if you do $15.99 times all of these, it gets really expensive. I think if I wanted to walk in and say, here you go, I want you to grade all of these, this is about almost $1,000. It's like 900 and something dollars. So the plan is not to be doing all of these at once. Probably going to do about 20 at a time. And that brings me back to my point of you can manipulate when they send them off, because if you personally bring in 20 cards, they're going to get sent off almost, that day, if not, that week. So they're not just sitting there and you're like, well, they haven't shipped. So anyways, my next plan is to get these sent off, get these graded, and just kind of show you guys what the grade is. And, I got some old Team Rocket. The new set's coming out, so my idea is get these graded. Maybe they go up in value, maybe they don't. Got some first editions, Team Rocket. Got some old Jungle, some old Fossil, some more Japanese Gym Heroes, or the Gym Darkness one. There's a Moltres, Gyarados, and again, some of these, I think are 10 worthy, 9 worthy, 8 worthy, and they're all going to get a return, I'd say, of at least $30, hopefully. But all these old ones, like here are 2 cards that are like some of the banned cards that I think, this is a wild card. This card's a wild card. Actually, I want to take that off camera just in case it gets reported. It's an old Pokemon card, and it has that old symbol on it that not a lot of people know. It doesn't originally mean what it doesn't mean what it means, and people have used that symbol in negative ways. Let's just leave it at that. But here's another one that when they made this card in the, I think it's Sabrina's, it's Sabrina. It's all I know. I forgot the actual name of the card, but in the Japanese version, this was the picture they used. In the English version, it was this picture right here. And the reason being is that this picture looks like she's flicking you off, which I think is kind of funny. And definitely, I want to get that graded. Here again, here's an old Umbreon card. Umbreon, everybody loves the new Umbreon card. So I think it's kind of cool to get this one graded off. But anyways, these are all cards that, here are my other Southern Island cards that I'm excited to get graded off. If these all get an 8, I can come kind of pair this with that other one and maybe sell them as a set. I do need to get the Togepi though. Here's some Terrestrial Festival Master Balls, and some more Terrestrial Festival, Roaring Moon. I bought a lot of Terrestrial Festival, as you can tell. I got all of these. I just pulled these 2 from those boxes back there. I just pulled these 2. Pretty excited about that. And that one too. And then here's some more old cards and Terrestrial Festival mixed in. Here's a modern card, Unknown. I picked this up from a card show. I just like the art. Again, this might not be the card that's worth the most if it gets graded, but I like the art and I want to preserve it and have it in a slab form. Yeah, and same thing with that one. Look how cute this is. It's adorable. Adorable card. And it, the holo's really nice too. So, yeah, in short, to say in a short form and a long form, get your cards graded at GameStop. Definitely, if you have the money to send 20 at a time, go ahead and send 20 at a time. That way, if you don't want to wait too long and get the fastest possible service, send 20. That way they get shipped off sooner rather than later, and yeah, I really can't recommend it. The experience was good. If you want to sell your cards, some of the modern ones that are mid-range, they might not give you what you're worth. But if you've got some old cards you're willing to sell, they'll give you decent value for it. You'll always make money make more money on the open market. Anyways, this has been the Poke Hunter. Thank y'all for watching. If you're still here, please share the video. I'm just doing this for fun, and just for everybody else in the hobby that kind of doesn't know where to go. I'm a normal guy. I don't have a card shop. I'm not really, reselling a bunch of product right now. This is just something like, hey, I'm kind of wanting to get into it. My goal one day is to have maybe a table at a card show, I'm really happy to get back into the hobby and to get some of my old cards with good memories graded. But anyways, thanks for watching. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.